What's up, YouTube? The White Ninja here. One of my buddies, Matt, was giving me a hard time because I never say the White Ninja in any of my video startups. Because he just has a blast with the idea of vlogs in general, specifically motovlogs, and how they refer to themselves as something. So he always tells me, hey, the White Ninja here. So that was probably the prime reason I didn't do it up until now. So Matt, that was for you. I hope you enjoyed it. I just got done filling up at Costco. Actually, I'll wait till we actually start moving. Well, I think I'm gonna maybe head downtown and give you at least something to look at. I know my videos, scenery-wise, is not that exciting. Not a lot of anything, really. So maybe we'll go down to the city. It's pretty cold out, so I won't be out too long or going too far. I did a vlog yesterday. I don't know how much content I actually had in there because I was real smart and didn't charge my batteries for anything. Didn't ride for a couple weeks and my Senna died. My GoPro died. It was just not the most well thought out day. So, we're going to try to do a second take of it. The vlog we're going to talk about today is just beginners. Thanks, man. Well, that guy was nice. Probably couldn't hear what he said, but he said, you gotta watch this idiot, he almost hit you. So, here I am, avoiding this situation. Anyways, nice of him to say. I'll be talking about all things beginner today, hopefully. Beginner bike. Kind of what to do for those worried about parent situations, kind of what I did, even though it was kind of irrelevant at that point. But what I would recommend doing, not to say that it's going to go well for you. I'll give you my perspective on things, and, you know, hopefully that helps a couple people along the way. I feel like I got distracted in my Costco story. So I got gas at Costco because it's the cheapest, and why wouldn't I? The best thing about Costco is that if you're on a motorcycle and you go to Costco, you get a lot of looks. And because a lot of people bring their kids there, you know, the kids look, wave, so that was kind of exciting. But people are probably wondering why you're at Costco riding through the parking lot, seeing as you have to buy everything in bulk. I don't think people's first reaction is, oh, he's just getting gas. So I had that to look forward to. That was exciting. Made me feel good. Kind of, I guess. I don't know. What's up, man? 636. God, I feel like I'm talking with like a dick in my mouth. Guy asked what size bike it was, and I tried to say 636, and it's the second day in a row I've tried to say my size for the bike, and they heard 650. Come on now. Wet. I don't like wet. We'll go in here. Walkie. So yeah, all things beginner. Who's excited? I'll start when I get on 290, because 99% of the time going down Harlem is the most stupid thing you could probably do from a traffic standpoint. It's literally awful here. So for those of you, maybe 0.5% of the 25 people I have, so not even a human being can relate from living in Oak Park, River Forest, Forest Park, Melrose Park. That vicinity, that Harlem, sucks the big one. So we'll get this vlog cracking, hopefully when I get on the expressway. Saw an article in the Wall Street Journal yesterday. I think it was the Wall Street Journal. Just glanced at it. I didn't really get into it because I don't want to get my hopes up, but it was talking about lane splitting and legalizing it in multiple states. I genuinely hope they do because it's very beneficial, I think, at least from a motorcycle perspective. People who aren't used to it and all these dingleberries on phones, I'm sure there will actually be a fair amount of accidents, which should be a concern, so I'm sure that's what they're looking at. All right, everybody, we are back. actually realized that this helmet's not that good in the wind, or at high speeds, I should say. So hopefully this kind of comes out alright. Alright, beginners, here we go. How to get started. Without question, I'm going to say take a course of some type. In the States, take the MSF course. Outside of the States, I don't know what you guys have, but I think you guys even have better courses than we do, like the guidelines you guys have. I know you guys have to kind of work your way up to certain size motorcycles where we could leave the DMV with our license and get a super sport or leader bike if we really wanted to. Which is good and bad. Good for those who get one, bad for the people who get one and can't ride them. 100% take a MSF course. They're actually a lot of fun. I mean, I guess you can make it not fun if you're very uneasy on the motorcycle and it's just not meant for you. I can see how it's not very fun for you, but I mean, everybody's there to learn how to ride a motorcycle, and to make that connection with people is actually a really good time. Make some friends and just enjoy yourself. I mean, the more loose you are in that course, the more fun it's going to be and the easier it is going to be to learn. Just how it is. For those of you concerned about your parents, obviously this is not going to be a universal answer. It's not going to be carved in stone for what to do. This is my opinion on it, and it's going to vary case by case, obviously. But if you're a kid who gets in a lot of trouble and is just always in like a bad way with people, odds are your parents are going to be real excited about you getting a motorcycle because you'll probably be reckless. And even if you say you won't, you probably will, because it's very easy to be reckless on a motorcycle. Everybody who rides one, well, for the most part, most people who ride one are reckless to some degree at one point or another. People see you going 100 miles an hour as reckless, some don't. Just depends who you talk to. So if you have like a good history, you know, you get good grades, you go to school, all this stuff, and you can kind of claim responsibility, I mean, that's a huge advantage to have with your parents. People whose parents ride are, I would imagine, going to be a little more lenient as far as allowing their child to start riding. That being said, your credibility is really what's going to help you. Personally, what I did, obviously it was beyond the point of my parents' control, really, but they were super anti-motorcycle, still pretty much are, but they, you know, since I love doing it, they're supportive with the fear in their eye. I went out, signed up for a course, I bought a helmet, bought gloves, and like a shitty mesh jacket. And I was like, alright, I'm gonna commit to this. Worst case scenario, I take the class. You know, it's not for me, I'm not very comfortable on it, but I know I always wanted to try it, so I was like, alright, I'll do it. Worst case, I have to sell the stuff that I bought at a little bit of a loss. And I was like, alright, listen, I signed up for a course, I have all my gear, I'm going to be wearing gear all the time, which I do. I know this is kind of a heavy debate, but if you don't want to wear gear, don't wear gear, you know? It's a risk-reward thing. I don't think the risk of not wearing gear is worth it, but that's just my opinion. Do I hate people who don't wear gear? No. If you don't want to wear gear, don't wear gear. So that is my thought process as far as starting it up. You might be able to convince them being like, hey, I'll get a job, I'll start saving up for a motorcycle, I'm going to take a course, and in the scenario the course isn't for me, you know, I'll still have a job, and, you know, we'll call it a day. But I think showing some initiative on your part is probably the best way that you can get your parents on board. That being said, you know, you could be like, I signed up for a course, I bought all this stuff, and they could be like, get out. Know that that is a potential option. You know your parents better than I do, obviously, but in my opinion, if you show a little bit of initiative into something that you're really passionate about, at least attempting to learn to do, I think realistically they'll probably give you more support than you'll realize, especially if you're going about it at the correct way with taking MSF course and stuff like that. I wouldn't say go out and buy a bike and just be like, hey, I got one. I don't think that's the way to go. That's my thought on that. Hopefully I'll get the bike portion in now, and we'll go in Lower Wacker for you guys. You know, where they feel part of Batman when he was on his motorcycle. How fun. Oh my god, what are the odds? The main people's questions you get asked when they first get into motorcycles is, hey, what bike should I have? Because I did the exact same thing. And kind of like the parent thing, there's not a universal answer. Like, oh, this is your first year? They made a bike only for first year people. Check it out. That's not how it works. You know, it'd be kind of great if it did work like that, but it's not. So this is, I think, my first time in Lower Wacker with a bike. I might have done it with my old bike, I'm not sure. Here we are, guys, Lower Wacker. Eat your heart out. It's not that exciting. but some people recognize some stuff, so I think that's kind of cool. Got that out, right? Everybody happy? Okay, first bike. I mean, I started on the Ninja 300, and I don't think that anybody could go wrong starting on a Ninja 300. So if that's something that you're even remotely considering, by all means go for it. The first day I rode the motorcycle was the first time I ever rode a motorcycle on a street. Granted, the MSF course is not on the street, it's in the parking lot. So those taking the MSF course, or who have already taken the MSF course, no, you don't do any street riding. You know, you don't have to do traffic or anything like that. So the first time I took the Ninja out was actually my first time on the street. The very first time I got on it, I knew that it didn't have the power that I'd probably want. Do I think that's necessarily true for a lot of people? Probably not, actually. I think people are probably pretty good about knowing what they want before they get it. That being said, the 300 was the smart decision, not the best financial decision, because I obviously ended up selling it and got this. But it was a smart decision, a great bike to learn on. That being said, if you can, and you know people, test out their bikes. You know, you'll be able to get a feel for your comfort level as far as what you can handle, what you can't handle, what you think you'll get in trouble in, etc. So, as far as what's the best beginner bike, you can't go wrong any 300 or 250. You know, Yamaha came out with theirs, and theirs I think is a little quicker. But yeah, moral of the story is there's no end-all be-all answer for a starter bike. It's really based on your opinion. So people who are, you know, asking different vloggers or people with a lot of experience, you know, what bike they should get, you know, they're going to give you an answer that's pretty universal as far as like, hey, get a starter bike, because you can't really go wrong there. It's great, you're going to have a blast on it, and you're going to really minimize any significant risks or potential mistakes that might happen. Like, I roll on this throttle, and I can get in some trouble. You roll on the 300 throttle, you might get to 60 miles an hour, you know? So there is certainly a difference between a 300 and a 600. Don't be fooled and be like, oh, it's not that different. Now, if I had to do it all over again, I'd probably get a Super Sport. That being said, realistically, I think one of the best options people could do is get a 650. I think 650s are like the best of both worlds. You have enough power to really do anything you want. You have a more upward seating position. You have the maneuverability that you need. So for people like looking for like specifically sport bikes, just period, and they only see like 300s or a Super Sport, consider the 650, man. Give it a look.